back, my friends, and now we are going to do the math. Are you ready? All right, here is your learning target, and I will zoom in so you guys can see. It says, I can use sides and angles to help me describe quadrilaterals. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2020. Now, we know what sides are. Those are line segments that come together to form an angle. We know what angles are. We talked about acute angles, which are smaller than a right angle, obtuse angles, which are larger than a right angle, and then right angles are angles where we can put a perfect square in the corner. A quadrilateral are shapes that have 4 sides. We are on lesson 12.5, page 723, chapter 12. At the top it says classify quadrilaterals. So we're going to unlock the problem. It says quadrilaterals are named by their sides and angles. Now, I filled this page out, so you just have to follow along and you can fill it out as well, okay? So, describe these quadrilaterals. Well, if you look at all of those quadrilaterals, they all have something in common. They have 4 sides and 4 angles. So make sure that you write that. Then over here for the error alert, it says sometimes you can make a mistake because it says some quadrilaterals cannot be classified as a trapezoid, rectangle, square, or rhombus. All right, and we'll talk about that. Now let's look at the first type of quadrilateral. That is a trapezoid. A trapezoid has at least one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. Lengths of sides could be the same. So what does all that mean? If you look at these pictures over here, and I'll zoom in, they've got one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. These 2 lines are parallel to each other. They're never going to touch. They're never going to cross. These 2 lines are parallel to each other. They're never going to touch. They're never going to cross. They just go in the same direction. And the square, you've got something a little bit different. These 2 lines will never cross, and these 2 lines will never cross. So in the square, you have 2 pairs. But most trapezoids have one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. Now let's look at the rectangle. All right, we know what a rectangle is. You have 2 pairs of opposite sides that are parallel, 2 pairs of sides that are of equal length, and you have 4 right angles. So this is a rectangle, and guess what? A square is also a rectangle as well. So you have 2 pairs that are parallel, but they all make 4 right angles. Square, keep filling in. A square has 2 pairs of opposite sides that are parallel, like these 2 are parallel and these 2 are parallel to each other. And you also have 4 right angles. Then you have a rhombus. You have 2 pairs of sides that are parallel and 4 sides that are of equal length. Again, these 2 are parallel and these 2 are parallel. Same thing for this quadrilateral. All right, now let's move on to the next page, 724. It says share, ooh, the wind, so beautiful out today. Share and show. It says look at the quadrilateral at the right. So let's look at it. There it is. It says outline each pair of opposite sides that are parallel with a different color. How many pairs of sides appear to be parallel? Your answer should be 2 pair. Let me explain. Here is the quadrilateral. It's a rectangle, but it's also a quadrilateral. You have these 2 lines that are parallel. They're never going to cross. They're never going to touch. And you have these 2 vertical lines on a rectangle that are never going to cross and they're never going to touch. So how many pairs is that? This is 1 pair. These 2 are the other pair. So that's where Ms. Harling got 2 pairs. Now it says, look at the parallel sides you colored. The sides in each pair are of equal length. Again, these two pair of parallel sides are equal in length. They're the same length. And these two vertical lines are of equal length. So that's why we wrote equal. And then number 3 says, name the quadrilateral in as many ways as you can. You can call it a rectangle, like I've been saying, but it's also a trapezoid. So now let's go over how it's a trapezoid. Well, you'll see that in a minute. Let's move on. Number 4, it says, circle all the words that describe the quadrilateral. Here is a rectangle, so it's a rectangle. It's also a trapezoid. Isn't that what was at the top of this page? This picture and this picture are the same. So the only two things you should have circled are rectangle and trapezoid. Ms. Harlan got a little confused. If you can tell, I first circled rhombus, but it's not a rhombus. It's a rectangle and it's a trapezoid. Number 5, what is this? It's a rhombus and it's also a quadrilateral. Number 6, that is a trapezoid, and it's also a quadrilateral. Okay, what makes it a trapezoid? Well, if you look here, it's got 2 obtuse angles, and it also has 2 acute angles. Let me go back to the rhombus too for a minute. You've got 2 acute, or actually you've got 4 acute. You've got 4 acute angles. So it's rhombus and a quadrilateral. This shape is a trapezoid and a quadrilateral. On your own, circle all the words that describe a quadrilateral. Well, the only thing you could have circled here is that it's a quad. It's not a rectangle. It's not a trapezoid, because up here they tell you what a trapezoid is. And it's not a rhombus because it doesn't look like that. Number 8, it's not a rectangle because all 4 angles would have to be right angles. It's not a rhombus because it doesn't look like the one up here. But it is a trapezoid because it does have some right angles. So they're saying you can say that. It's not a square. Sorry, guys. Number 9, it is a quadrilateral. It is a square. It's also a rectangle. Squares can also be rectangles because they have 4 right angles, just like a rectangle. And it's also a rhombus. All right. Now, I'm going to stop there. I may show a poster, boys and girls, of the different types of quadrilaterals to help you understand a little bit better what they are. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to upload a video on quadrilaterals. It's real quick. It's like a minute and 49 seconds long, okay? So that was the 2 pages I did today for lesson 12.5. I gave you some important information as well, and I will see you again. Bye for now.